Do you think that this is a fit case of conflict of interest and corruption?
The Congress took the decision asking him to resign. He resigned. In this case, you're talking about hundreds of acres of land. There is an absolutely what I call as without any complication. There is a clear as daylight case of a conflict of interest, whether it's corruption, etc. Has anybody from the BJP resigned ever? And the answer is no. I mean, go back to what I think Rajnath Singh, if I remember correctly, famously said in 2014. We are not the Congress. Nobody is going to resign from the BJP ever. And they have stuck to that.
Hello and welcome. You're watching me, Sanket Upadhyay, on The Federal. The show is called AI with Sanket. This is the AI of news because news in India today is not artificial but analytical intelligence. From Ayodhya to Ujjain, are temple towns becoming the center of not just religion, the center of not just spirituality, but a center for scams? We first saw the story of an alleged donation scam in the temple town of Ayodhya, where temple trust officials were accused of amassing wealth from the donations donated by the well-wishers and the devotees who come to Ayodhya, many of them from South Indian states of Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and other parts. It had been barely a few days since this news became public, and an SIT report has just been submitted that another issue from another temple town of an alleged scam involving the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh has now come to light. This is Madhya Pradesh, where Chief Minister Mohan Yadav himself, his own family, all close relatives sharing the same address as where he stays, which is there in his affidavit that he filed ahead of the Election Commission, and their real estate companies seem to be allegedly direct beneficiaries of investing just ahead of time to reap the benefits of a redevelopment plan of Ujjain city. Now, why does this become interesting? Because all of this seems to be well timed with the rise in political fortunes of the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Mohan Yadav himself. Ever since he became the Chief Minister, suddenly there was a meteoric rise in the prospects of close family members and their companies, where they were able to catch and gather very many real estate deals. Now, is this a case of a conflict of interest, a matter of propriety, or a clear case of a land scam allegedly involving a chief minister? And more importantly, will we ever see resignations and heads rolling for matters like these, or does that simply not happen? We put this to a discussion. So joining us right now on this broadcast is Mr. Sanjay Jha, is a political analyst, and Mr. Raghav Awasthi also. Mr. Awasthi is also a well-known political analyst, and you see him on a number of occasions commenting on major issues. He's also an advocate, so he's represented quite a many people in court as well. Thank you very much. I don't know whether Raghav will represent Mr. Mohan Yadav or not should this reach the courts, but the point is there is a fresh controversy pointing at propriety issues as well as conflict of interest issues related to the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Mohan Yadav. Is Mohan Yadav in a conflict of interest battle right now, where he seems to be allegedly benefiting members of his own family ever since he became Chief Minister, in a sort of a fancy land grab or a land swell in the city of Ujjain? Did he provide his family with crucial government data of government projects which would lead to windfall gains? And is this not a clear case of conflict of interest? Should he resign or not? Mr. Sanjay Jha, I want to begin with you first. The Indian Express report today is very, very clear. Uh, there are many companies where Mr. Mohan Yadav himself is the director, real estate companies where he himself is the director, his wife, his son, his cousins, his first cousins, their children, their wives, all of them. In fact, in some cases, the company's address is the same as the residential address mentioned by Mr. Mohan Yadav on the BJP website. And all these companies have got projects just ahead of the Ujjain master plan, which was released. So obviously they were privy to some information that yahan se highway niklega, the land use will change, and then they invested. Do you think that this is a fit case of conflict of interest and corruption?
Without doubt, Sanket, I don't think there is any ambiguity on this at all. Um, I have read the entire report. Indian Express probably remains the only mainstream media in both print and television that's doing investigative journalism. And they have done their homework. They have put down whatever are both sides of the story. Obviously, Mr. Yadav's side has refused to comment as of now. The truth is that the documents or the whatever insinuations they have made are based on evidence collected by the Indian Express. Now, I'll tell you why this should worry us all. Because you are finding increasingly under the Modi dispensation for the last 12 years that there is a certain level of vulgarity and shamelessness with which they operate. And I want to use strong words here. We probably should talk about also the allegations that are being made as far as the trust in Ayodhya is concerned. I mean, these are shocking stuff, right? I read what Nitpendra Mishra said, a former principal secretary to the prime minister. It tells you that there is, as I say, there's something rotten in the state of Denmark. This government has used religion to win the elections, but now I think it has religion has become a business model. And if in this case the chief minister from the Express report, and I do believe it should be investigated, and frankly, because I remember being a Congress spokesperson and defending or arguing the case for the Congress during the time when Arnab Goswami from Times Now was ballistic on Ashok Chavan on one or two apartments in Adarsh. Here you are finding about hundreds of acres of land in Ujjain. Will Arnab Goswami do a show on Republic tonight? I'm not so sure. We all know the state of Godi media in India. So let's not even go down that road. But I think the confidence that has come into the political culture of the BJP, Sanket, I'm being very honest with you here. The reason why BJP, whether it comes to democracy or, secularism, you know, corruption, why they actually now don't care is because they are convinced that we control the propaganda machine. So, think it's not just Modi or Amit Shah, right? The entire BJP political ecosystem is convinced that whatever we do, it will not remain a headline beyond maybe one or two people or channels or platforms. And even if they go there, it can't last beyond a day or two. So that has resulted in the BJP, in my opinion, probably being the most corrupt party imaginable. I'm not even going to get into the issues of Adani or Ambani or Rafael, etc., which haven't even been investigated. So we are sitting on, I think, a tinderbox of corruption. Would you remember that Rajesh exports a 15 lakh crore accounting fudge? I mean, these are numbers that are staggering in impact. They are not those notional losses of coal and spectrum on which the Congress was defeated, which have since been rejected in the courts. So I think we are living in extraordinary times. What Mr. Modi's government is telling the people of India is that we are in power. We have fixed a model by which we can win elections, well, either through the Hindutva story or we'll rig the election anyways. So I don't think they care. My sense is Mr. Modi does not care. He's like, I'm not going to be quitting this job ever. I'll continue to be prime minister for decades on end. I think Amit Shah was right. We'll be there for 50 years. I don't think anybody can remove them now. But the truth is that I think India has discovered the entire story of this government. Now, at what time will it crumble? I don't know. But this Ujjain story, as well as the Ram Trust scandal that I'm reading about, are testimony to the fact that religion has been exploited and abused. And we should all hang our heads in shame.
Okay, Raghav Avasthi, just quickly coming to you now. You see, it's interesting that Mr. Sanjay Jha equates Ayodhya with what is happening in Ujjain. Clearly, there is a Ramayana link, Lord Ram link, there is a religion link to what is happening. And this is a story of number one, religion being used to come to power, and number two, religion being used to amass disproportionate wealth. It happened in Ayodhya as well. The SIT has just submitted its report. And it is happening. The same thing is alleged to have happened in Ujjain as well. What is this fixation with using religion for corruption? And do you feel that this is the worst possible form of corruption that members of a ruling dispensation can indulge in, or their associates?
So there are 2 points to be made here, and I really hope I will also be given the same indulgence that my friend Mr. Sanjay Jha, with whom I've had many debates over the years, was
100%.
given. Yes,
100%.
thank you. So the first point here is this. I don't think religion or religious nationalism is the only thing that propels the BJP to victory. The BJP comes up with different strategies for every state election, and also for local elections, the strategies are always different. So the strategies are different everywhere. What happened in, of course, there is this element of welfare delivery, which is there as well. And schemes like free rations, etc., have helped a lot. And ultimately, religion alone cannot be the sole plank for any political party. And the bigger problem with the Congress these days is that it just doesn't have the geographical footprint to challenge the BJP at the national level. Now, coming to Ayodhya and Ujjain are two separate issues. And from what I understand, from what I have read of the Ramayana, I don't think Lord Ram during his exile or during any other phase of his life was ever in Ujjain. That's what I remember. So as far as Ayodhya is concerned, from a political perspective, I don't think the opposition doesn't have. I don't think that the opposition has much of a locus to oppose or say anything about what is happening in Ayodhya, except of course that there are allegations of corruption which have to be investigated, and those who are responsible for it have to be brought to book. Because when the Babri Masjid was brought down, Narasimha Rao, who was the Congress Prime Minister, said that he wants to rebuild the Babri Masjid. And I think Mr. Jha will agree with me on this. And the Congress between 2004 and 14 did absolutely nothing to ensure that the Ayodhya temple could be built. And in fact, lawyers affiliated to the Congress ecosystem did all that they could to make sure that the hearing itself was delayed and the court could not reach any conclusion. So that is one aspect. As far as corruption allegations are concerned, I'm sure they would be investigated. I have also read the Indian Express report in a cursory fashion, and if there is any corruption allegation that can be proven, then I'm sure the law will take its own course. But somehow to link it to Mr. Modi, this I just don't understand, because we are a federal country. Whatever land in most states is a state subject, except of course Delhi. So to bring Mr. Modi into the conversation everywhere, I think it is also counterproductive. I know that Mr. Jha has had his differences with the Congress party in the past, but if ideologically he considers himself to be part of the opposition, and he's been a very voluble spokesperson even when he's not in opposition, then I'm sure he realizes that just targeting Mr. Modi, bringing Mr. Modi in everywhere, it just doesn't help anybody's cause. Mr. Modi is somebody who's widely respected by the country's population, even by those people who don't vote for him. There are people who would not vote for him for ideological reasons, but they also respect him. And his style of politics is such that he takes people along, irrespective of whether those people have voted for him or not. So I think to link it to Mr. Modi, first of all, is mischievous, and prima facie, yes, if there is a conflict of interest, if there are companies linked to Mr. Mohan Yadav, then I'm sure the law will take its own course and the party will take some political action. There is nothing, and there would be nothing out of the ordinary as far as that is concerned. Having said that, there is a post that Mr. Anand Goenka had also put out, and he had said that it's the same journalist who had exposed land scams involving Mr. Robert Vadra. So we need to also know from the Congress party as to what action was taken against Mr. Vadra. Just because he was the damad, he was spared when the Congress party was in power. So it cannot be that the same journalist can become a beacon of great journalism when he targets somebody who's affiliated to the BJP and not when he's going after Mr. Vadra.
Lots of
I
points
think
that, yeah, sorry.
I think Mr. Jha has been at the receiving end of this dynastic culture, and I actually, sympathize with him and admire him for all that he has done over the last few years. But I don't understand why he has to bat for the Congress party.
Okay, okay. I think Mr. Raghav Avasthi, you've made your, both of you guests have made your opening comments. Here is the point. You are saying do not equate Ayodhya and Ujjain. Now, Mr. Sanjay Jha, the reason why there is a direct need for an equation or a link is that these are both acts, alleged acts of corruption. Alleged acts of corruption. In one case, and it's all related to faith. After all, Ujjain is a booming temple economy. The city will expand. You will have devotees who will come in. You will have residents who will come in, and then they will occupy those that agricultural land, which will get converted to commercial or residential land and stay there. So for there to be a direct link between beneficiaries of this scheme, including the chief minister, that's a direct case. It's not like he's only benefiting his family members. There are companies where he himself is the director. So he has benefited himself. That is the conflict of interest. And in Ayodhya too, you have a similar situation where people who are very, very close to the powers that be, including Mr. Champat Rai, there is allegation that under his watch, people's trust in that trust is broken. After all, the donations to Ayodhya have dipped because people feel cheated. So it is people feel cheated and being cheated by those who are extremely close to power. This present dispensation. That is the link. And in both cases, in the name of religion. Sanjay Jha.
Yeah, can I be honest, Sanket? I think to my mind, the kind of base expectations we have from our political leadership is so low. The bar is so low that you find that whether it's Modi or Amit Shah or a chief minister, they get away with the most subpar, substandard, and absolutely outrageously bad performance. I mean, I'll give you one classic example, right? Yesterday, you had the case of Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of Britain, led the Labour to a historic 411 seats in the elections held just 2 years ago. And why does he quit? Because, hey, his own party said, you are not performing well enough. That to me is democracy. Look at India. Look at India. Where you find whether it's crony capitalism. I mean, Adani Ambani is now legend. I mean, we can talk about it till the cows come home. I'm a banker. I know my balance sheet from the back of my hand. I can tell you these are like daylight transfer of state assets and, many other advantages being given to very friendly buddies of this current establishment. No prime minister. I mean, I don't know where Raghav is at the moment, but no prime minister or president in the country that he lives in would survive the allegations that Modi has absolutely brazenly flouted over the last 12 years. And the reason is simple. There is a regulatory capture. There is a media capture. And then, of course, there is the whole dismantling of the opposition infrastructure. It's very clear. Now, I don't even want to waste my time debating on why India, therefore, is now a cesspool in politics. Raghav can keep arguing the case that, it should be investigated. But hang on. Ashok Chavan was the chief minister of Maharashtra. It was an allegation of one or two apartments where he made a preferential allotment to some of his relatives. Arnab Goswami and the whole media went after the Congress. The Congress took the decision asking him to resign. He resigned. In this case, you're talking about hundreds of acres of land. There is an absolutely what I call as without any complication. There is a clear as daylight case of a conflict of interest, whether it's corruption, etc. The chief minister right now, in the interest of a fair investigation, should just step down. You think the prime minister will comment on it? No way. If the prime minister of this country refuses to comment on the hate speeches of now the current chief minister of Bengal or the chief minister of Assam, who make the most vitriolic statements against the minorities, and the prime minister is like remarkably silent, do you think he's going to comment on corruption? It doesn't matter. As I said to you at the very beginning, Modi and company are convinced that nobody can remove them because they have captured the institutions of India. So the fear is, frankly speaking, gone. Because listen, when do you become accountable, right? When you have the fear of being asked questions which could lead to serious consequences. This government, this party believes is above it. They know it's not going to be permanent. They know the government will change. They know that once a new government comes into power, all these things, the can of worms will be up in the public domain. They know it. But their hope will be that we can delay it as long as we can. And hopefully at that point, it will not be a story.
Okay.
So I disagree with Raghav, because Raghav, there's a simple maxim of both business and political leadership. The buck stops at the top, and a country really becomes like its leader.
Sure. And,
Can
and,
I?
and just to, yeah, Raghav, just before you start answering, because you said why should one bring in the prime minister? Any development project that is thrown open for the country, the prime minister inaugurates it. From Ayodhya's Pran Pratishtha to Ayodhya temple completion, the prime minister was there. So if there is a donation scam which has put in deep distrust the faith and belief system of crores of Hindus, and I can tell you, Ayodhya is my hometown. I can tell you the number of people who have such deep distrust in that temple trust right now. The donations have gone down. Naturally, when the prime minister went there and was front and center of all the good, the expectation is, will he not comment on what is going wrong as well? Even a statement that दोषियों को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा, दिल से माफ नहीं करूंगा, none of those statements have come. And in the case of Ujjain, who has appointed Mr. Mohan Yadav? Mohan Yadav is the choice of which political party? Which central top leadership in the BJP decided that he be the chief minister? And the windfall gains of the family has happened largely post him becoming the chief minister in the years of 2024 and 2025. That's why the question of accountability, Raghav.
So I think there are 4 or 5 points to be made here, and I'm really glad to hear my good friend Mr. Sanjay Jha. I think like he's a banker, I am a lawyer who practices law in India before the Supreme Court as well as the Delhi High Court. I've had some reported judgments to my credit in the past. I know a little bit about constitutional law. What I can say is this. Mr. Mohan Yadav was chosen by the legislators of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Madhya Pradesh. Ultimately, the election of the let me complete. Thanks. So the election was by the legislature party, and this is the constitutional scheme in all parliamentary democracies of a federal nature, like Canada or Australia. In our country, there is this unfortunate tendency where we have this high command culture. But in most other federal countries, even in Australia for that matter, there is, let's say, an Australian Labour Party, ALP at the federal level and the ALP at the state level. So that is one thing. Now, as far as the BJP winning elections is concerned, there is a simple reason as to why it wins elections. The simple reason is this. People feel that their lives have improved over the last 12 years. My life has certainly improved. And I'm sure there are other people who feel as if their lives have improved. So you cannot sustain a winning run like this for 12 years. There are many other aspects of Mr. Modi's success also, especially the delivery of welfare schemes like free rations. Why is it that we were unable to do that? Why is it that we started lagging behind countries in China and Southeast Asia in the 1980s, which was the heyday of Congress dominance? I think as a student of economics and as a banker, Mr. Jha is in a very good position to answer this question. Because from what I understand as a student of economic history, as far as per capita income is concerned, till about 1980, India and China were at par. So India started lagging behind in the 1980s. Guess who was in power then? So I think people feel that now that India has become the world's fastest growing economy and per capita incomes are increasing. They are increasing slowly, but they are starting to increase slowly and steadily. There is a trickle down effect.
Raghav, please. My request is we have limited time. If we
Okay.
get into history, so far back as the 80s, hopefully the 40s also. My point is, right now, the allegation is of acts of corruption in temple towns. When question of accountability is raised, the point being made is why should you said why should the prime minister be questioned? I am saying
Yes.
when the prime minister was front and center of all the good in these temple towns, should the nation not expect at least a response from the prime minister saying that guilty will be punished?
As far as the SITs, take Ayodhya and Ujjain separately. As far as the SIT is concerned, the SIT will submit its report, and the people who are guilty will be prosecuted as per that report. Those allegations and the charge sheets, etc., will have to be taken to court. And there, once those allegations are placed on record before a competent court, the competent court will reach its verdict. And then there is a process of appeal, and ultimately those who are guilty shall be convicted. So I don't understand the issue with this. If the SIT is already there, and if somebody wants to say that, okay, a CBI investigation should be done, then they are free to petition the court for a CBI investigation. I'm sure Mr. Jha, and I'm not saying this sarcastically at all, if he feels that there should be a CBI investigation, he should engage a lawyer and then he should go to court, and I'm sure he will succeed. As far as Mohan Yadav is concerned, there is a legal aspect and then there is a political aspect of political messaging and political communication. So as far as the legality is concerned, I have only read the report. I don't know what the other side of the story is. So as a student of administrative law, I'm not in a position to comment on whether there is a conflict of interest or not. Conflict of interest is essentially a judge-made doctrine. So there are precedents that cut both ways. So unless I have made a thorough study of the subject, I won't be able to comment on it. As far as the political aspect of it is concerned, I don't think Mr. Modi is somebody who can be blamed for that, for the simple reason that he had nothing to do with the choice of the chief minister in Madhya Pradesh. It was the legislators who elected him.
You've made this argument twice, Mr. Sanjay Jha. In our country, we have the concept of a high command culture. I too am aware that the legislators choose their leader of the legislature party, but in most occasions, this choice is often dictated from the central leadership, be it the Congress,
Across party.
be it the BJP. Even in the BJP, I don't think we need to kid ourselves or fool anyone. We all know where the choice comes from. Anyway, moving on, Sanjay Jha, the point is about issues of propriety, conflict of interest, and in public life, keeping yourself above suspicion and resigning.
Yeah.
The point is, that hasn't happened in a long time. For instance, in the education sector, one has a fit case of incompetence in the education sector where exam after exam is being leaked, where a re-NEET is being conducted. The Prime Minister is having to oversee a re-NEET examination. Air Force planes are being used to ferry the re-NEET papers, and somehow that is being positioned as, look, we did re-NEET successfully. But the failure remains. That paper leak happened, right? And there was chaos on the ground. And paper leak is just one aspect before people can turn around and say that paper leak used to happen earlier also. You have had one issue after another with the education sector.
Can I just come in for a moment?
And yeah, one moment. And yet Mr.
5 seconds.
magically survives through all of this.
5 seconds with the permission of my friend Mr. Sanjay Jha. Just 5 seconds. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to say that it is all very well to say that papers have been leaked. But the fact is this, that one of the foremost stalwart allies of the Congress party is Mr. Akhilesh Yadav. And his father had actually said that there should be no anti-cheating law that should be passed in Uttar Pradesh. So I think what the public also sees is intention.
My point is, right now in the
Yes.
center, Akhilesh Yadav is not in power, right? So we will ask questions of the government in power for 12 years.
But the opposition aspires to put Akhilesh Yadav in power.
Sanjay Jha, I want to ask you that in this day and age, are issues like or words like propriety, conflict of interest, scam, all these don't matter anymore before a political decision of removing a person in public office is taken in this country?
Absolutely, Sanket. I can tell you that I wake up every morning and I feel, are we becoming a banana republic? 15 young kids died in a fire in Lucknow. I mean, does human life have any meaning left in India? I mean, just think about it, Sanket. The state of the families who lost those children. For what fault? And you keep reading these kind of instances all the time. I mean, even if Mr. Modi comes and says strict action will be taken, you and I both know that this is going to be nothing more than cosmetic grandstanding. Has anybody from the BJP resigned ever? And the answer is no. I mean, go back to what I think Rajnath Singh, if I remember correctly, famously said in 2014. We are not the Congress. Nobody's going to resign from the BJP ever. And they have stuck to that. So there have been allegations against so many people, but there are no consequences for them. Because for them to take moral responsibility is to say, hey, I'm culpable, and it's a public shame. Well, the truth is the public is been actually being treated as gullible and taken for a ride. But how long will this sustain? I think there is a certain arrogance in this establishment that is pretty obvious to one and all. It's going to crumble. I have a feeling it's got already very slippery feet on two banana peels. It's a matter of time. But I can tell you one thing for a fact, that what the BJP has done, whether it's the case of Mohan Yadav or, crony capitalism, I can go on and on. You know about them, the whole electoral bonds, the whole mafioso extortion of funds for political campaigning. There is a certain serious level of corruption of Indian politics, and it has been normalized. You see, what is most disturbing, Sanket, is that it has been normalized. We are now being told that it's okay, learn to live with it. You see, I consider Narendra Modi's biggest success in India is that he's normalized hate against the minorities. You remember, Sanket, once upon a time in 2015 when Muhammad Akhlaq was killed in a mob lynching in Dadri in Uttar Pradesh, TV channels and newspapers ran that story for days on end. Now a human lynching is no longer a story. It doesn't even feature in an obscure part of a newspaper. Corruption is so normalized. Poor governance is now taken as the norm. They are no longer a talking point. And for the record, Raghav, India's per capita income is the lowest amongst G20 countries. Number two, if you remove the concentration of economic power, we will actually be ranking at 148 to 150 amongst the countries. Even in GDP, for God's sake, we have slipped to number 7. Economic growth and social harmony move in the same direction. When social harmony is troubled, economic growth doesn't happen. And India is now paying a huge price for the politics of this current government.
Okay, Raghav, before you respond, you see, I'm just quickly dialing back to this Mohan Yadav story. In the Indian Express, see, I can understand, Raghav, let's operate from the assumption that Mr. Mohan Yadav, innocent till proven guilty, has done nothing wrong. Staying in the same house and all these real estate companies, builder companies, having the address identical as Mr. Mohan Yadav's residential address, it is quite possible that out of utmost integrity, the chief minister was absolutely quiet and he did not say a word. He did not reveal any secret, and of their own ability, his family members were able to show great investment and become good real estate tycoons and businessmen. It's totally possible, okay? But here is the thing, Raghav. What is undeniable is the timing. I would like to draw your attention to the number of plots and acres that this family had in 2021. 10 plots, 8 acres. In 2022, 14 plots, 27 acres. And suddenly, the acumen era of Mr. Mohan Yadav's family business began. In 2023, from 14, they had 33 plots. And after he became chief minister, from 33, they acquired 75 plots in 2024. Then another 62. So either they have great business acumen, but unfortunately, this great business acumen times with Mohan Yadav's rise. And that is why these questions.
So I think this is a very interesting point, and nobody is saying that all of this should not be investigated. But since Mr. Jha is a fellow cricket fan like me, I would like to draw his attention to one incident that Sunil Gavaskar has written about in his book Sunny Days, brilliant memoir. So when Sunil Gavaskar was selected for the first time, I think for the Bombay team, his uncle who had also played for India in the 1930s, was part of the selection committee. So the normal way to do things in such circumstances where there is a conflict of interest is that for that particular meeting, the person who has the conflict of interest recuses himself. So it is quite possible that this is also what might have happened. But till there is an investigation, till we find out as to exactly what has happened, to bring the Prime Minister into this and then to talk about social harmony, akhlaq, these are things that happened 11 years ago. So I don't think that serves any purpose. Let us treat each case on its own merits. Let us figure out exactly what the facts are. What is it? What are the minutes? Where are the minutes of the meetings wherein this decision to award these contracts was made? Whether these companies satisfy the eligibility criteria, and whether there was anybody else who was better qualified who was overlooked because these companies were awarded these contracts.
Raghav, all arguments understood. You tell me. Had any member of the opposition done even half of this, would you have not asked for their resignation? Would you have not considered this a case of conflict of interest?
I'm not saying that there is first of all, the opposition in this country as of now doesn't have the capacity to take any decisions because they are not in power in most states and of course not at the center. So what I would have done is completely a moot question. That's one. The second thing is that, as I said, even if the opposition were there, we would have to look at the facts of the case. But to simply target the Prime Minister, try to just bring the Prime Minister in everywhere, try to bring akhlaq in everywhere, this doesn't make any sense from my perspective. Politically, yes, the BJP is fully entitled to take a decision. It may feel that things like resignations, etc., are not good politically, so it doesn't believe in it.
Become rare and scarce.
Yes.
Number one, whether it is Ayodhya or Ujjain, FIR is scarce.
I'll come on the aspect of FIR. I will say this. So there is a very famous judgment of Lalita Kumari, which was authored by the Supreme Court of India. If there is anybody who feels that a cognizable offence has been committed, then they are free to approach the court under Section 175 of the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita. Earlier it was 156(3) CRPC. Get the FIR registered. The law is the same for everyone. If your complaint discloses the ingredients,
Donors who have donated to the temple, who feel that my money should be accounted for, not file an FIR. One of the people who have donated. The problem is,
file the complaint. Let me complete one short point. File the complaint. If the complaint discloses the ingredients of a cognizable offence, the cops are obligated to file an FIR. If the cops don't file an FIR, go to court. If the court doesn't, if the Metropolitan Magistrates Court doesn't entertain you, this country, our great judicial system gives you the right to appeal right up to the Supreme Court. What I don't understand is this. Why is Mr. Jha not doing this?
One moment. I'll tell you the problem in this country, and sad. This is extremely sad. I was speaking to a friend of mine from Ayodhya last night. And Mr. Sanjay Jha, Mr. Avasthi, what he told me? He said, मैंने तो बहुत अच्छी नियत से भगवान को दिया था. I gave my donation to God. So I have earned my karma. What people or the caretakers have done with that money will add up in their karma. Unfortunately, the arguments go and revolve around these things. I feel this is a clear case of temple economy and temple accountability. If we are building cities around religious tourism and religious economy, there has to be religious economy discipline and methodology also in place. Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjay Jha, as well as Raghav Avasthi, for joining us and giving us your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.